So I went to a video game store that I had not been in quite some time. This store is located in Ellicott City, Maryland, and it's where I scored those amazing Korean controllers. There's Nintendo 64 controllers that are incredibly rare. So this place never disappoints, and I found some amazing Nintendo games. So we'll go ahead and check this location out. So I just found some of the coolest controllers here. This is for Fable 3, one of my all-time favorite franchises. Me and my brother, we used to play these games, and of course he would always play as terrible and I would always play as pretty good. So it was always neat seeing the different endings that you could do, but just having these really neat controllers, this limited edition. I didn't even know that they came in this pack. Now I have actually seen the Halo version before, so I have seen this. They might even have a different one or something like that, but this is really cool. Seeing this in the big box here, just really neat, especially when you see all these blisters and they're not completely cut open and gashed. I know a lot of people, when they open them, they just kind of rip them because you never really think that you're going to save this stuff. But it's just always cool finding these neat little oddities at all of these different game stores. So this store, Time Warp Video Games, it really never disappoints, and I was so lucky to score some Super Nintendo and Nintendo games. And boy, was it a treat seeing some of these rare items. This one right here, ActRaiser. This is a game that I did not have in the collection. I've been meaning to pick this one up because I do have the second one, but this is an incredible video game. This is one that I'm looking forward to actually playing for my Super Nintendo set. Now, I just love how you have this 2D platformer, but it has something unique with it. It has this simulation style, so pretty much you play as God, and it's just very interesting. You have this whole strategy that you have to learn with these different patterns. It's not something that you could just fast forward through and just go crazy at. You have to go through, and even the simulation part, while you're building, you get to shoot around as you're doing this. It's just something that looks very interesting, and because I already have the second one, if I really enjoy the first, I'll definitely have to try that one out. But this is one that I could see a lot of people really enjoying, and it's one that you should definitely check out, especially if you're into these types of video games. And that's not all, because they had tons of NES games, they had tons of Sega Genesis, but I was really excited to find one of these games. So as I'm going for the full Nintendo Entertainment System set, this set right here, these blue cartridges, you never find them this clean. The person who was working, she was super nice. She was able to clean everything beyond expectation. You know, just getting some of that yellowing and everything off of these cartridges. It's just so crazy when you find these. This one is actually called Crystal Mines. And this is a really fun puzzle game. This is one that I'm really looking forward to as well. So I'm definitely excited about it because it's an action puzzle game. You get to go around, collect the crystals, and you essentially want to find the exit after that. But you have to push on these different rocks. You have to be mindful of the monsters, and you can push the rocks to crush the monsters, but they can also crush you. So you do have to worry about these different obstacles, and you have to use a strategy. But this is one that I'm definitely looking forward to playing. I feel like it'll be a fun, relaxing, yet intense time, all at the same time. So I'm really looking forward to that. And that's not all, because I did score some other Nintendo games like this one. This one's actually a really fun game. This is Thunderbirds, and I have been on a kick when it comes to some of these different games. And I'm really looking forward to just sitting down and playing some more because I've been having a blast. We have the spaceship shooter. Now, it's different for each mission, so you get to use different ones. So I kind of like the variety as you're not locked into one specific. And you just get to go through. I feel like it is on the easier side, but it is a very solid game and something that's super inexpensive. You just really cannot beat that. You know, spending like $10 on some of these games, especially some of these like space shooters or shoot 'em ups, if you really enjoy some of these, I feel like this will be right up your alley, especially if you could find it for a great deal. So this was really fun, just finding all of these Nintendo games, some that I just don't see at some of the other stores, and especially this like amazing, fantastic condition, and everything's like tested, working, cleaned, and you know, it's really great finding this stuff. Still, some of these games like over 30 years old, and they are in like tip-top shape, and I just absolutely love that. So one thing that I always find interesting are the Japanese exclusive items. Like, look at this variant here. So of course I have a few of the North American versions of this Game Boy Pocket printer, but it's just so cool seeing this stuff, like pretty minty. Looks like it's in really great shape here. So this is just a cool little addition that anyone could add into their collection, especially if you love the Game Boy. Now, I do have something big coming at some point, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. But that'll definitely open up a whole little like Sega kick that I'll kind of be focusing a little bit more on. And I loved seeing some of these rare titles at this video game store. They had such a variety of not just video games, but like Pokemon cards. They had so much cool stuff there. I love the little pins, the trinkets, just so much to see. And I feel like it was really clean and set up amazingly well. So I just had a blast exploring everything, and these Genesis titles that I saw, it's just so wild seeing this much of like a variety all in one location. The prices were great and everyone was super helpful. So I just loved the whole experience, and I can't wait to go back. But I did pick up even more of these particular games. So as we know, I'm going for a lot of full sets, but this one, the NES, just an amazing system that I grew up loving, and I'm exploring a lot of these games for like the first time, which is so crazy. But this one is Star Soldier, and this is really great. So this is another one that is on the inexpensive side, but it's a vertical scrolling spaceship shooter. So it seems to be like a whole, you know, style of what I'm going for. So you have to worry about the movement, the precision, the different upgrades, but this is definitely more fast-paced, and I feel like it's a lot of fun. So I feel like you have to use a certain turbo controller to really enjoy this particular game. Just kind of make it a little bit easier to navigate through and just play. That way you're not like constantly pressing the button. So I can't wait to dive into some of these. And I want to know, have you played any of these games before? Did you grow up with some of these Nintendo titles? What are some that you think I should definitely look out for? I'm always looking for certain games when I go out to certain locations. And I'm really hoping I can keep on adding more and more. Now we have Desert Commander. Now this is one that I'm not really too sure if I'm going to enjoy this game. I know a lot of people that I know have played this, but it's one of those turn-based strategy games. And I feel like playing some of the Advance Wars games and other ones, and even like Battalion Wars, I feel like they're so much better compared to this. And I feel like I'd have much more of an enjoyable experience on like the Switch or like newer systems when it comes to that, just because it's something different and it's not really something that I enjoy as much. Now this does have some sort of like difficulty with it. You have each unit, they have like their own staffing that you have to do. You have to protect the headquarters, and you have to worry about the ammo and the fuel. So I feel like this one is one that maybe I just don't have the time to dedicate into, but I'm curious if you are nostalgic for it. Now this one I was pretty excited to just kind of pop in and play, but it's nothing like how I anticipated it to be. Now I remember the first one, and I just feel like these games just aren't as much fun. I feel like if you grew up playing them, maybe you'd have like a different, you know, input on it. But Skate or Die 2. It says The Search for Double Trouble. This one is just not doing it. This is really not a fun game. It's super inexpensive, and I can see why. Now, it does have a great soundtrack, but this like side scroller, it's like slow. It just doesn't really feel like how I would expect this game to be. And I feel like with all of these skateboarding games and everything else, I feel like there are so many other better options that you can play. So not really too sure if this one is going to be enjoyable. I'm sure that if I have some people over, maybe they remember playing this and maybe they'll want to try it out. But as for me, I just don't really see it. So I'm curious if you guys, played this game. Did you love it? Can you, see this game being bad, or is it always going to be good for you? I just want to know. But the music is really great in it, so I feel like it has that at least. Now, I did also see some of these Nintendo Switch games and other, newer games there. I did pick up Nintendo Switch games, so you guys will have to stay tuned for that, as I'm kind of getting a bunch of those, together. So I want to kind of dive in a little bit more on some of the games that I definitely missed out and I hadn't heard of before. But this store has such an amazing variety. There was really something for everyone that goes there. Not only did they have comics, toys, Pokemon cards, just different cards in general, they had tons of video games, and that's what I like seeing. A little bit of a variety, but more so video games. So I definitely had a blast. It was a great time, so much cool stuff, and I'm curious if there's anything that you saw in this video that you would have loved to pick up at this location. They had some heavy hitters in the showcase. They had some really great deals on some things, and I'll have to go back because you never know when something crazy or super rare may walk in the door. I've scored amazing things from this location over the years, and I can't wait to see what I find next time. So of course, I'll have to get a total count on the Nintendo games and the Super Nintendo and, kind of see where I'm at. But I'm definitely honing in on some of the things that I really like, and I'm moving through on some of these lists. So I can't wait to see what I find next time. So of course, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go ahead and check out all of my other videos and stay tuned for more.